This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
The voice of F1 is heading back to Perth. David Croft himself. Now, we've had Crofty on a couple of times. He's been over to Perth a few times. It's gone so well, he's decided to come back to our fair shores. Good morning to you, Crofty.
And a very good morning to you. How are my three favourite people in Perth this morning?
Oh, we're wonderful. It's good to be your favourite, but you actually haven't come in ever. So we're hoping that one stage when you come to Perth, you'll be able to pop in for a face-to-face.
Crofty, when you are here...
Well, I can do that.
You're playing the Regal Theatre.
This time.
Yeah, it's across the road.
I literally have to walk 10 yards as long as the little green man says I can cross the road. Otherwise, the local police will get uptight with me. I just 10 yards and I'm there. So
I tell you what,
if you put the kettle on, I'm coming in.
You'll be addicted once you pop. You can't stop. We're the human Pringles. Sean's sour onion and cream. Sour cream and onion. Sorry.
Hey, Crofty, it's always good to have you out here. Isn't it amazing? You can travel any part of the globe, and the F1 scene is so strong. The people are so passionate.
It is incredible, and it's lovely for me because not only do I get to commentate for Sky Sports in the UK, but so many different countries take our commentary. So wherever I go, I'm pretty much meeting people that listen on a Sunday or a Saturday or even a Monday morning, as you guys probably find out, to what we do. And it's mega. And there used to be a time I could sit and sip on a cappuccino in Perth. No one would have a clue who I was. Those days are long, long gone, even before I started these shows. And it's the same. So we go to America. There used to be a time you go to border control at America, you just get a grumpy guy going, yeah, what are you here for? And you say, well, I'm here for the Formula One. Yeah, what's that? Well, it's a sport. We spend billions of dollars. He said we spend billions of dollars racing around so the Dutch guy could win. Oh, right, yeah, off you go. Now it's a case of, Crofty, hey, how you doing? I saw the race last week. It was mega. Formula One has never been more popular than it is now. And that is so lovely.
Do you think...
As we approach our 75th year, 75 years of Formula One, which is quite an anniversary to celebrate for 2025.
Yeah, that's massive.
Now, Crofty, I want to know, because you are the voice, right? So being recognised facially is one thing, but your voice is another. During COVID, I wanted to go outside and have a go at these road workers, right, that were outside, and I thought, you know what? And I would never do it because they might recognise me and go, oh, my God, it's Nathan. So you can't be a prick sometimes. So anyway, I thought, oh, my God, it's COVID. I had on, sunglasses on, I put a mask on, my COVID mask on. So I went outside and I told them they have to move their bloody truck and blah, 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 and all this sort of stuff. And as I've started going, she goes, oh, my God, hello, Nathan. And I didn't realise that my voice was recognisable because, I just didn't pin that to that. Has that happened to you?
So,
have you had to hide your voice? What's the deal? Because people are able to hear you in the supermarket if you're talking to your mates.
Yeah, Nathan, the mere fact that you broadcast on the radio every weekday, you still don't think anyone knows your voice. I find quite surprising. But there I was doing my Christmas shopping, right? Just before Christmas, I was in the Michael Kors shop in Bicester Village, one of these outlet stores near where I live, buying a handbag for Mrs. Croft. And I'm just chatting away. I'm chatting away to the assistant. This guy comes behind the tills and says, sorry, excuse me a minute. You sound awfully like that chap who does Formula One on Sky Sports. I said, do I? Who's that guy there? And he said, that guy, Crofty. You sound just like him. I mean, there's a very good reason for that. He said, what's that? I said, I am Crofty. Oh, my God, he said. 20 minutes later, I kid you not, I'm still trying to buy this handbag because he wants to talk about F1. And he's the world's biggest fan. And the conversation ended with, well, look, I hope you have a really good time this season. Surely this conversation's worth a discount. It gave me 20% off.
Oh, there you go.
This is the joy of being me.
That is fantastic. There's got to be some value in it.
Yes. Crofty, do you reckon that Drive to Survive has driven like a whole new audience for F1 that just wasn't there before?
Certainly has. That's not the question I expected you to say. To be honest, now I thought you were going to ask me to get you a handbag. Well, I'll bring one over for you.
I can buy my own handbags, Crofty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but 20% off now. Jeez, that's not bad.
Has it given us a new audience? Yes, it has. I think the beauty of Drive to Survive, and I love Drive to Survive, trust me, is that we used to we used to serve up the live sport and hope that people stayed around for the soap opera. Formula One's always had a soap opera. You know, it is so much better than Neighbours, trust me. And Harold doesn't come back after 25 years. Yeah. Does anyone still watch Neighbours? I don't know.
I don't think Australians do. You do. It's your fault it's still on.
Yeah, listen, I'm just starting season 11 of MAFSA, so don't get me stuck onto all that stuff again.
Stop it.
So what we do now, though, we serve up the soap opera with Drive to Survive, and then people stick around for the live sport. You know, they get encapsulated by the gossip and the rivalry, and then that translates into audiences on a race weekend. And I think this season we're going to see such a tight, close season. Regulations haven't really changed much. Lots of teams are in contention at the end of last year, that I think people are just going to love what should be the most fiercely competitive season since 2021, but involving more than just two teams this time.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, obviously, with Lewis Hamilton moving over to Ferrari. We saw that obviously Red Bull are always going to be strong, but it was McLaren who were right on the heels with Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. And I want to ask you about those two in particular. When we used to follow our Aussies, when Daniel Ricciardo was going particularly well, Mark Webber, when they were driving for Red Bull in particular, they always seemed to be the second man in that combination. Is Oscar Piastri going to just be the second seat in that McLaren team and therefore not a real chance to win that world title?
Not intentionally and not by any design that McLaren have on Oscar's role within the team. But I think what Oscar needs to do in what is now his third season, he's got the pole, he's got the win, he's got podiums, but he needs to be consistently better than Lando in qualifying to, I think, give himself a bit more confidence, and B, confidence to the team that he is a genuine title contender. And there's no reason to suggest that can't happen. I've said to you guys before, I think Oscar is a fine champion in the making. I really do, and I love watching his driving style. But he's got to get qualifying sorted against Lando, who is a fine qualifier himself, and was the only rival really to Max Verstappen in terms of the most amount of poles last year. So if he can do that, if he can beat Lando more consistently or qualify alongside him more consistently at the front, then I don't see why he can't be a genuine title contender. Because after all, this is his third season, and we saw an improvement on year one, and we saw, in year two, him come to terms with the deficiencies that were holding him back in his rookie year. So I think this could be a massive year for Oscar Piastri, and arguably what could be the best car to start the season. But you know what? Lewis Hamilton, you've mentioned him.
Yes.
We were talking off air about him crashing in that
in
an old car for Ferrari.
Yeah.
He's already put the marker down in terms of omens for a championship. Because when Lewis started out in Formula One, he had a test in Jerez for McLaren, and he crashed on his first day testing. And then when he went from McLaren to Mercedes, his first test for Mercedes, he crashed. And
so do you think he's doing it on purpose now?
You'd give him the shit one at the start, wouldn't you?
Exactly. You drive mum's
He's
car.
realised that if he crashes at the test for his new team, he goes on to win a championship. So, all over bar of shouting, Lewis is going to gate crash the championship party.
So then can't Ferrari then for his first lap around give him a Barina or something?
Yeah.
Just a little Ford, little hatchback.
Hey, Crofty, speaking of these guys, right, I've always, you look at Formula One a lot of the times, and the best teams who are running up and going at the time with the best car engineers, so forth, are the ones who win. Who, in your mind, is the best driver?
Regardless
Lewis?
of what they're driving.
Yeah. Max, is it someone else that we don't know of that's just been driving a car that's been underneath and you just think they're just a wonderful driver?
No, it's a really good question, because whilst we concentrate on the stars,
yes,
there is no doubting the car is 95% of your success for that season. The extra 5% comes, from the person behind the wheel. I think Max Verstappen is the best driver at the moment, and we saw that at the back end of last year, where he was getting performances out of that Red Bull that the car wasn't necessarily able to do at the hands of a mere mortal. Sergio Perez, for instance, he was struggling. Max wasn't. I think Lando Norris is fast adapting to the pressures of Formula One with a smile on his face, and has everything that, if he puts it all together often enough, that could make him a world champion. And he says that he'll be better for last year's experience when he comes back this year. What last year taught Lando was exactly what he needs to become a world champion, if that makes sense. You learn from your mistakes in that. I think Charles Leclerc is another fine natural talent, but just makes the odd unforced error that can prove a bit costly over the course of a season. But he had consistency towards the back end of last year. Lewis Hamilton, I think, is the greatest driver of all time. Okay. But is he getting on a little bit? Is he, now he's 40, just a bit too old to not have any mistakes?
He should have to go for his license every year now.
Yeah. Make him do the eye test over and over.
Crofty, are you just into racing, or are you equally as interested in the cars? Are you a car person?
I am a car person. I don't earn enough to be a proper car person. I drive an Audi A4 estate.
Really? In my mind, you've got many properties, like many farms and stuff, and out there you've got like
some
a warehouse,
castles.
and you've just got like beautiful like Rolls Royces, and in my mind, you're very wealthy.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Listen, I have round about 8 properties at the moment, all on the edge of a monopoly board.
Yes.
And I'm putting hotels on.
Let's not forget how excited he was about a 20% handbag discount. So.
He was at the outlet store buying three arm jumpers.
You're getting stitched. You're getting stitched.
I love a bargain. What can I say?
Yeah, so
Me
they,
too, mate, me
the
too.
F1 people. Hey, here's the other thing. I know we're speaking to you in the UK before, but a lot of the circuit is in and around the Middle East. And Nathan's just been to Dubai, but we know many of people who have set up in Dubai, and therefore you're not paying any tax, mate.
Can I tell you the funny story about Dubai, right? So the money over there is insane, as we all know. And the cars, like I think I saw one shit box on the road, and that was it. And then it's G-Wagon.
And there was a camel.
Yeah. That was great, Shaun. Anyway, well, I'm at the Dubai Mall, which is the flashiest place in the whole area. And I'm down at the valet area waiting to get a ride out of there and take my mum and dad back to the hotel. And all these cars are rolling in, like Rolls Royces. And I can't even explain them. Ferraris, all this sort of stuff. Then 2 girls roll in a Suzuki Jimny. And you should have seen the valet's face. They were lost. It's like they just drove in an actual piece of shit. Yeah. They didn't want to touch it. And I thought of the girls, and I was actually a bit, get that car out of here. Isn't that insane? The money over there, Crofty.
Oh, mate, it's ridiculous. It really is. I don't think I could afford to live in Dubai. The VAT is a bit punitive over there, to be fair. Plus, I like my rain, which is why I live in the UK. If I had my choice, and don't get me wrong, I love my little Audi A4. It's an estate. I can get my golf clubs in the back. But I get that Aston Martin DBS, the safety car with the SUV, because it's a mega car. But just up the road from where I live in a little village in Bedfordshire. There is a little car showroom that deals old Morgan cars. You know, the ones, the open top sports cars with the long bonnet. And I absolutely love the Morgan. If I could drive around in one of those, maybe with leather driving gloves on and my flat cap, I would be a very happy man.
You'd be like Austin Powers almost.
That would be living the dream.
Leather gloves to me is still murdery.
Absolutely. Well, Crofty, can't wait to see you back on our shores. The Regal Theatre, Subiaco, Monday the 17th of March. And then we've got Nicola Estate Winery, Middle Swan. That is Tuesday, the following day, the 18th of March. You can check out fanofsport.com for further info and tickets.
Love your work, Crofty.
That was very well read. Very well read.
Doesn't happen often. Does not happen often.
And we'll see you when you're in Perth, because he's just going to skip across the road.
A, I'm coming over. B, it's Paddy's Day, St. Patrick's Day, so we are definitely having a pint of Guinness if there's any left, because there's a bit of a shortage on that stuff at the moment.
Yes.
And C, may I just add that the Crofty and Caroon show at the Regal Theatre is way more of a bargain than 20% off a handbag. And that's all you need to know.
Like the sound of it.
Thanks, Crofty.
Take care, guys.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
We're a couple of hours away to seeing if Cooper Connolly, West Australian, Perth scorcher, gets a Guernsey in his first ever Test match for Australia.
That'd
of
be
course, we're playing
exciting.
Sri Lanka today. Yeah, they're saying that Bo Webster and or Todd Murphy are the guys who could lose their position in today's game for the
Why?
West Australian to get... Oh, this is easy. I reckon this is easy. So Matt Kuhneman took all the wickets last time,
Yes.
and Nathan Lyon. Todd Murphy only took a couple of wickets, and he can't bat to save himself.
All
Yeah.
right.
Bo Webster is an all-rounder, so in my opinion, you play Bo Webster, he comes on and just bowls 10 overs throughout the match, no problem at all. He just bowls medium pace.
Yep.
He can bat, but you bring in Cooper Connolly, who can spin the
Yeah, he
ball.
can, yeah.
He's probably not as good a spinner as Todd Murphy, but how good is he as a
And
batter?
also-
So you're shoring up the batting lineup.
Yep.
You got an extra
Yes.
spinner. Away you go.
And branding as well. Cooper Connolly, it
Yeah.
works.
It sounds correct.
It
You
works.
know? Ken, so if you are on the cricket team
Yes.
and you are good at and you're not good at batting, they just put you last.
Yes. Yeah,
that's
and
correct.
hope that they don't get to you.
In a
And,
way,
and
yes.
then if they get to you, everyone goes, shit. Is that what happens?
Nobody has great
has
expectations
happened.
of
Right.
your number 10s and 11s.
Right.
That has happened so often, but then, as Natalie would know, sometimes the number 10s and 11s, like when you were in the Mitch Marsh couldn't get you out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're doing ballerina shots, you're doing all this
He's
make
been alive because he never saw these moves coming.
You never see it, and then
Yeah.
you
I
can't
went all
get
Black
it out.
Swan on him.
Even Glenn
They're nicking them,
McGrath
they're
had
going for four.
a good innings once. Do you know what I mean?
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, pigeon.
So, Shaun, in
Yeah.
a professional game of cricket, say bringing me in with technique that they've never seen, would that throw the other team?
It'd throw the
have a
team,
man
more so the
pirouette.
crowd.
I think
No, let's talk about the game.
Paid for this?
I think what would happen, Nathan, is that they, like the first over, they'd be going, what is going on? And then they just bring on their fastest bowler to bowl it at your
Ball
head.
actually through my body.
Yeah. I would like that. I'd
They're
just
like
walk
this,
off.
the
Go, no.
bubble wrap would really throw them for a while.
walking
though.
out with the bubble about. But if someone's out there doing spins like that, would
Pirouettes,
that at the right time could change a game.
That is
Shaun.
kind of what Sam Constas did in his first innings at the MCG, where he did MCG.
It was the MCG, yep, his first
yeah,
game.
where he just was playing shots that no opening batsman in Test cricket.
So you're going against cricket.
against Bumrah, the greatest bowler in the world, that nobody should have been attempting, and that really threw them. And that's why Virat Kohli shoulder charge.
This is
shoulder
amazing
charge.
because
And
you
Virat
play
Kohli's
cricket
big.
the way
I know.
that cricket has always been played. But what if you
Yes.
don't?
Unconventional.
What if you don't? That at the right time, Shaun, could change the game. I don't know. I don't know how it's scored and how long it goes for, but it could change the game.
By the way, to all the parents who's listened to Nathan don't know how it's scored. When you've been at the cricket doing junior cricket and you're the scorer, it is the worst thing in the world. There are so many little things that you need to write down. Who's bowling,
Yeah.
who's batting.
Scoring
dot balls
baseball and softball is
and
similar as
softball.
well.
You would hate
Horrendous.
that. It's
Yeah.
just too much. Moving on to the AFL now, and if you see today's West Australian, this photo has been getting around for a couple of days. Shaun Darcy looking ever so fit after his trip to the Middle East. Now, 1 week didn't shred all the weight off him and make him look like Thor.
Nobody looked like RoboCop when he was in the all the
Dead or
suits
alive,
and
you're
stuff
coming
in
with me.
at Aspetar.
He's been working on this for quite some time, and for good reason, because he's been injured a lot over the last 4 or 5 years for the Dockers, and they need him out there playing as much as possible, and therefore, if he's fit as possible, then he's now forever fighting. Now, Nathan, you'll have a look at this.
Right.
See? How fit
Let
does
me
he
see
look to
Dust.
you?
Let me see Dust. Dust! Look at you go in your little bike pants.
We'll
No,
chuck it up.
he looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that is, he's shed a lot of weight, especially around his face and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But look at his arms and his.
He's very lean. Yeah.
That's the
Looks good.
leanest. That's the leanest
Yeah.
I've seen him.
Yep, exactly.
The
And what do
end.
you feel about, because that's like lycra type material. How do you feel about that? Because you said it's
I
not,
know, like it's a privilege, not
not
a
a
right.
right.
He
But he's
he
earned
has
the
the
right.
right to wear it. Some of you listening right now, you don't have the right, and you should take it off
You know who you are.
because we have to see it. You're in it, we see it.
Absolutely. And, heavy.
I'm not allowed to wear it, by the
And
way.
finally, obviously, heavy hearts at the West Coast Eagles. We were talking.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
devastating.
about the loss yesterday, and they've been through the ringer lately, actually. And for people who have been a part of Adam Hunter's life, in particular John Worsfold, who we had spoken to Adam
Yes.
just recently, we're feeling for their club at the moment,
Yeah,
and we're
for
feeling
sure.
for those people who have strong relationships and family and friends, obviously.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.